The U.S. Navy is phasing out its C-2A Greyhounds, which have been the primary aircraft responsible for delivering urgent supplies to aircraft carriers worldwide. These missions require rapid response, unlike typical one-day Amazon deliveries, although it's worth noting that even Amazon packages have been delivered to aircraft carriers. The C-2 Greyhound has served the U.S. Navy faithfully since the 1960s, but it is now being replaced by the CMV-22 Osprey, a tiltrotor aircraft. Yes, it resembles the MV-22 used by the U.S. Marines for some time now, but it has a slightly bulkier appearance. Can the CMV-22 perform all the tasks currently handled by the C-2? Absolutely. In fact, it has the capability to do much more. However, the reason the Osprey cannot fully utilize its potential with the U.S. Navy is not what you might think. Sending a cargo plane directly to an aircraft carrier in the middle of the ocean is a costly endeavor. Therefore, its primary mission is limited to transporting urgent packages, parts, and aircraft engines. In cases of necessity, critical personnel may also be transported, and in emergencies, evacuations are carried out to rescue individuals from aircraft carriers. All of these tasks are accomplished with the assistance of the C-2 Greyhound. On the other hand, everything else, such as Amazon packages, mail, food, supplies, and fuel, is delivered using a different method called underway replenishment, which involves the support of a supply ship. The CMV-22 Osprey is set to replace the C-2 Greyhound. The Osprey is a tiltrotor aircraft that combines vertical takeoff and landing capabilities like a helicopter with the transit capabilities of a turboprop aircraft. While the CMV-22 has a lower payload capacity of 6,000 pounds compared to the C-2's 10,000 pounds, it compensates for this by having the ability to carry external cargo, making it suitable for transporting oversized loads that cannot fit inside the C-2. In terms of operational range, both the C-2 and the CMV-22 boast similar ranges, with the Osprey having the added advantage of in-flight refueling, significantly extending its range when necessary. However, it's the Osprey's ability to execute vertical takeoff and landing that truly sets it apart. The C-2 relies on catapult launches and requires arrestor wires for carrier landings. During both takeoff and landing, significant forces are experienced by individuals on board, which may not pose a significant challenge for the crew, but could be harmful to someone with a medical condition. In February 2021, a sailor who had suffered a stroke required evacuation from the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson. Due to his critical condition, using a C-2 Greyhound for evacuation during the catapult launch could have been life-threatening. Fortunately, a CMV-22 was available on board and was utilized for a medevac mission for the first time, ultimately saving the sailor's life. In another instance, one of the catapults malfunctioned on the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, and the support equipment needed for repair had to be retrieved from the shore and transported back to the carrier. While the C-2 Greyhound could have used one of the remaining 3 catapults for transportation, the challenge was the absence of a nearby runway near the specific support facility. This would have necessitated multiple hops to bring the repair equipment back to the ship. The CMV-22 streamlined the process by enabling a direct flight to the location, thus saving valuable time. It's important to highlight that in both scenarios, a helicopter would not have had the necessary operational range to fly from the carrier to the shore. Even if it could, the Osprey's ability to transition into airplane mode during horizontal flight allows it to achieve much higher speeds than a typical helicopter. The CMV-22 has a cruising speed of approximately 305 mph, nearly twice the speed of conventional helicopters. The most noticeable visual distinction between the existing V-22 variants and the CMV-22B is the extension of fuel tanks to the forward section of the sponsons on each side of the aircraft. The CMV variant will also feature an improved fuel dumping capability to release fuel in flight during emergency situations. The addition of these fuel tanks was essential to ensure that the CMV-22 has the required operational range for performing carrier onboard delivery, COD. which is its primary mission when replacing the C-2s. However, this Osprey represents a significant transformation for the Navy, as its capabilities extend beyond cargo delivery. The CMV-22s have the potential to be equipped with the V-22 Aerial Refueling System, VARS, enabling them to refuel other aircraft such as FA-18s or F-35s. This capability could empower F-35s to reach target areas located up to 1,000 miles away when refueled by the Osprey. The U.S. Marine Corps has been conducting tests on this capability for several years, but it remains uncertain whether the U.S. Navy will incorporate this feature into its CMV-22 fleet. Presently, the U.S. Navy possesses 2 carrier-based aircraft capable of serving as tankers for aerial refueling. One option is the FA-18F Super Hornet, which can be outfitted with external tanks to provide fuel to other aircraft. Until just a few years ago, Super Hornets were the sole carrier-based aircraft responsible for tanker missions during deployments on carriers. However, this arrangement resulted in them reaching their 6,000-hour service life several years earlier. The alternative option is the MQ-25 Stingray, an aerial refueling drone, which, in June 2021, conducted its inaugural refueling operation by providing fuel to an FA-18F Super Hornet. Furthermore, Ospreys have the versatility to be outfitted with various mission packages. This isn't quite the same as LCS flashbacks you might be having. It's a distinct concept. The Osprey's rear ramp enables the installation of different mission packages within its cargo bay. For instance, if an E-2 Hawkeye is unable to function for any reason, a specialized communication package could be installed to transform the CMV-22 into a communication hub. In a similar vein, the U.S. Marine Corps has successfully tested an electronic warfare roll-on, roll-off package for the Osprey. Additionally, the Osprey will be outfitted with a beyond line-of-sight high-frequency radio and enhanced command and control capabilities, enabling communication beyond the horizon. Furthermore, the CMV-22 can accommodate a crew of 4 along with 24 troops. This capacity enables the Osprey to deploy naval special warfare forces either through low or high-altitude parachute drops or by utilizing a combat rubber raiding craft. While these capabilities are impressive, there's a minor challenge to consider. The original plan of the U.S. Navy was to acquire 48 Ospreys, but this number was later reduced to 44. As of December 2022, the U.S. Navy has only received 19 of these aircraft. Given that the CMV-22 can perform a wide range of missions beyond the C-2's capabilities, during periods of high demand, the Osprey's versatility may lead to reduced availability for its primary role as a logistical asset. Additionally, it's worth noting that the V-22 platform already has relatively high maintenance requirements and a notable cost per flight hour. As more units within the fleet begin to utilize this asset, there could be increased strain on the aircraft's availability and readiness. Presently, the Navy has allocated Osprey airframes and personnel primarily for carrier onboard delivery, COD missions. To make use of these additional capabilities, there's a requirement for a larger number of air crews, additional maintenance personnel, and more Osprey aircraft. Attempting to carry out these supplementary missions with the existing number of aircraft is not feasible, as it would leave insufficient availability for COD missions. The full transition of the fleet to the CMV-22s is anticipated to be completed by 2028. However, the Pentagon currently has no plans to procure any additional Ospreys for any of the military branches beyond those already in the pipeline.